Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your October 2023 mid-month general reading. We are looking at the last half of October, and this reading is for the water sign of Scorpio. I hope everyone's doing well. As always, thank you for being here. Please hit that like button. It really does help the channel. Subscribe and share if you feel like it as well. For those of you who comment, who reach out for personal readings, those of you who refer and recommend me to others, my gratitude always. Thank you so much, and many blessings back to you. So Scorpio, if your sun, moon, rising, Venus sign is in Scorpio, if you're cross-watching for a Scorpio, this video is for you. Of course, general readings may resonate a little bit differently for everyone who watches them. So if you know any or all of your other signs, sun, moon, rising, Venus, watch those as well for additional insight and perspective. If something really does touch you, resonates with you, and you'd like to perhaps take a deeper look at something and reach out for a personal reading with me, for yourself or as a gift for someone else, or if you simply like the reading style and you're interested in a personal reading, please feel free to email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the title or description of this video. I would love to hear from you, and I can usually get back to you the same day with all the pertinent information. I offer a pretty wide variety of reading choices in all areas of life, of all different types and lengths and costs and budgets. There's something in there for everyone, and I do readings full-time. It's all that I do, so I'm able to schedule personal readings in a fairly timely fashion as well. So if you're interested, email me. Okay, I am using the Tarot of Dreams and clarifying with the Radiant Rider-Waite. Scorpio, let's see what the last half of October 2023 looks like for you. We begin with the Empress, the Divine Feminine, abundance, feeling good about yourself. Other people seeing that as well, perhaps indulging for some of you. Could be mother or mother figure, or maternal issues for some of you, mother issues. Could be literal fertility for some of you in terms of conception, pregnancy. The Empress is a really good sign for now being the right time to plant seeds to manifest something quite abundant. With that, we have the Eight of Swords. Interesting. The Eight of Swords is a card that represents feeling like you can't remove yourself from a situation because of some kind of message or ideology or set of ideas in your head that you say you can't. Like reasons, excuses, or justifications. Swords is governed by the element of air, which governs our intellectual landscape, how we think, how we look at things, belief systems, ideologies. That's what's holding this person back. It's saying, well, I can't because of this, I can't because of that, I can't because of obligations, I can't. Next, we have the Ten of Cups, the Happy Home card, happily ever after, feeling like everything has finally come together, everything is peaceful, harmonious, beautiful, especially where home and family is concerned. Tens do represent cycle completion or coming full circle. The Ten of Cups can represent literal family, marriage, children, the house itself. With the Eight of Wands, travel for some of you. This is about, it's the Ten of Fire, sorry, the Eight of Fire. It's powerful, action-oriented movement forward, whether it's literal travel, communication, conversations, Cupid's arrows. It's interesting that we have the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Wands side by side, which represents some kind of conflict or duality between movement and lack of movement. And because of the Empress and the Ten of Cups, there's a strong, for some of you, kind of family, mother, could be father too, family energy. Next, we have the Eight of Cups, 3 eights, which is a card of leaving, of walking away or turning your back on something. Why? Because it's been or has turned out to be unfulfilling. The next card, of course, would be the Nine of Cups, which is wish fulfillment. Your cup's overflowing with abundance. So here in the preceding card, as the story, our life cycles that the tarot tells, here in this card, we have to turn our back on something which we may have thought was going to be our Nine of Cups, but in fact has turned out not to. And in order to find that Nine of Cups, we have to leave something behind. With the Two of Cups, which makes sense because twos usually represent a crossroads, a choice, a duality. Which way do I go to manifest what I really want? Which is kind of what I'm feeling, kind of a pulling here. From the bottom of the deck, the overall energy for the last half of October, Scorpio, is the Moon card. So the Moon card can represent basically, I don't know, right? It's a lack of clarity, and in that kind of cloudiness is also perhaps some deep-seated fears, which may or may not be realistic. I mean, there's light with the moon just like there's light with the sun, but it's a different kind of light with the moon because it's a reflective light. There's a lot of shadowy corners and hidden nooks and crannies, and anything could be lurking in there, right? So it could be fears too, perhaps fears that have been magnified to an unrealistic level. But the moon is a very spiritual card. Any card that shows up with the moon usually has some kind of pulling with it, some kind of deep-seated spiritual tugging, pulling in a certain direction, even if we're not sure what it is and not sure what's ahead. So that's kind of the overall energy, which we can see here in this, I want to go this way, but I feel kind of trapped. I feel like I should do this, and there's this choice. So it's quite clear that with that Eight of Cups here, that you don't have your Nine of Cups yet, right? Whatever it is in regards to this situation. But you still feel connected with what isn't right, if that makes sense. Let's clarify the overall energy of the moon. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, the Ace of Wands. Aces, of course, are the number one, so they represent a new beginning, a new start, a new path, or the new opportunity. One is fire, which is action-oriented, and the other one is Pentacles or Earth, which could be a practical, so it has a practical aspect. Ten of Wands. This is kind of feeling like you're at the end of your rope, like you feel overwhelmed, you may feel tired, you may feel exhausted. You have this longing for some kind of new beginning or new start, but you're not exactly sure how to get it, maybe what path to take, what choice to make. Let's move on to the Empress and the Eight of Swords. Justice, the Knight of Wands. So these cards together represent, justice is justice, right? It's morals, honor, ethics, doing the right thing, reaping what you sow. And the Knight of Wands, knights representing offers and opportunities for change, the speed at which situations move. This is an indication that, what's the right thing to do here? It feels like with the Knight of Wands and Justice, with that Empress, that the right thing to do is to move forward, to take action, to move forward, and doing it sooner rather than later. But we have this Eight of Swords, which is somebody who says, yeah, but what about, I can't because of that, and I can't because of the other thing, and I can't because of this. I can't because maybe it's something to do with family. We do have the Empress and the Ten of Cups. Well, I can't because it's my family. I can't because it's my marriage. I can't because I'm their mother. I can't, or they're my mother, or, It might be an unhealthy situation, an unhealthy relationship, an unhealthy living situation, an unhealthy something. Let's clarify that Eight of Swords. We have the Ten of Cups again with the Seven of Cups. This is what's holding you back. The Ten of Cups represents that there's some kind of family connection to it. And maybe that's one of the reasons why you feel trapped or held hostage, because of an obligation. Again, because it's family, because it's my marriage, because it's my family, or because it's going to affect my family. It might not be about the people that you call your family, your home and family, but it might be, well, I can't leave this other situation. I can't leave this toxic job because it'll affect my family or money or something like that. And also what's holding you back is the Seven of Cups, which in and of itself is not an unhealthy card, but here it is because it's part of what's keeping you trapped in your head, right? The Seven of Cups is a card of fantasizing, daydreaming, building castles in the sky, but only looking at the most perfect thing that something could be, that it could work out to be, right? Oh, I know this is an unhealthy relationship, but he or she is such a great person, and I know if I just keep plugging away at it, they'll wake up and they'll become this person that I know they can be, or this toxic job situation. I know if I just kind of keep working at it, that it's gonna turn out somehow to be this, this wonderful thing. It's a card of focusing on possibilities and potentials, but it's not a very grounded energy, and it's showing up as what's keeping you stuck, that somehow this is going to work out. It almost feels like ignoring a little bit of reality here. Let's take a look at that Ten of Cups. But it's keeping you exhausted and worn out and unclear about the future. But you keep telling yourself it's going to get better, so you stay connected to it. Clarify the Ten of Cups. Yeah. The High Priestess. Okay, so the King of Cups, which is likely you, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, could be another water sign. And the High Priestess and the Two of Swords. This is ignoring your intuition, which we kind of already had this clue about already. The High Priestess is your intuition, your connection to the divine. Some people call it higher self, some people call it gut instinct. It's your intuition. And that also speaks to the fact that you probably know what the best thing is to do. But here with the Two of Swords, that mental energy again, there's a choice that needs to be made. It's quite clear you're at a crossroads here. A decision has to be made. But here in the Two of Swords, there's a reluctance or a resistance to look head on at something, because then if you do, you have to do something. You have to make choices. You have to take action. So here in the Two of Swords, it's easier to keep the blindfold on and swords up, so you can't see it, you can't look at it, and then you don't have to deal with it. Things have a way of kind of progressing to the place that we have to deal with it anyway. If it's something that we need to deal with, Spirit will usually give us a certain, amount of opportunities to do that, to deal with it. And then if we don't, they'll usually kind of come in and present us with a situation where we have to. And it's usually a little more difficult than if we dealt with it ourselves. Let's take a look at the Eight of Wands, which is action here. Taking action, movement, could be travel. The Devil and the Six of Wands. It's almost as if you're saying, it's not almost, I think some of you are saying, if I just keep plugging away at it, if I just do this thing, I'm going to do it this one last time, and maybe this will be the time that it happens and I get victory, right? Which is the Six of Wands. Victory, triumph, success after a challenge. If I just keep moving towards it, if I just go see them one more time, if I just keep putting all my energy towards this thing, then I know it's going to work out. But the Devil, this is an unhealthy situation, or it has grown to be unhealthy. The Devil card often shows up for addictions, mental health, toxic relationships, toxic jobs, because it represents an unhealthy level of obsessive energy in one direction, which ends up to the detriment of the person doing it and the people around them. But there's a tempting element to the Devil, right? That's how the Devil card energy enslaves and entraps, because even though the thing might be unhealthy or may have grown to be unhealthy, there's still this tempting element. But I know they can be this person, but I know they can improve, but I know the job can, but they pay me a lot, but and that's that tempting part that keeps pulling us back over and over and over again, and telling us, if I just if I just do this, if I just do that, if I just go one more time, if I just do this thing, I know I'll have victory. I know I will. But you're ignoring your own intuition here. I mean, free will, free agency, like I always say, right? We have free will, free agency. But typically if a thing is unhealthy for us or toxic or bad for us, and over time we don't make the decision to deal with it and to make healthier choices about it, eventually what usually happens is spirit usually forces it upon us in a way that's much more difficult to deal with and, kind of immediate than if we had dealt with it ourselves. So let's take a look at this 8 of Cups, 2 of Coins, 8 of Cups. Leaving, walking away, making choices. Strength, the Moon again, and the Hanged Man. Yeah. I mean, this is having the strength. Let me show you. This is having the strength and the courage and the wisdom and the humility to walk away from something we know isn't good for us and walk away into the unknown, even when we don't know how it's going to work out, even when we don't know what lies ahead, because we feel pulled to do this, but we're afraid to do this because the Moon, it's an unknown. So we kind of wait and watch, and we don't take action, and we're waiting to see how things play out again until it's forced upon us, and we have to, and it's usually in a much more uncomfortable and challenging way. I don't see any particular action taking place here other than the cycle that you're already been in, but I do feel with the Moon twice, there's a fear of the unknown here if you leave this situation or turn your back on this situation, which doesn't necessarily mean physically leaving. It can also, turning your back on a situation can also represent giving up on the idea that you can make it better when it involves other people and other places that you actually have no control over, right? And making decisions to start living your life and making healthier decisions, healthier for yourself, right? Which is what this Empress is about. This Empress, she takes care of herself. She makes sure that she's taken care of, right? So, but again, free will, free agency. It's an interesting reading, and I think all of us, right? We can all relate to having been through this at least once in our life, if not more than that, where a situation is turning out not to be great or it doesn't feel good, but we keep trying, we keep wanting to force it, we keep, if I just do this, if I just do that, because we're so connected, addicted to this idea of what it could be when in fact it's not really what it is, right? And breaking that cycle is challenging. That's why it shows up as the Devil card, right? It's not an easy cycle to break. We've all been there. But we can break it. All right. Let's end with advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit. Although, I mean, we can pretty much already see here, right? Yeah. Okay, advice, guidance from Spirit. 7 of Pentacles. Take a look at what you have invested in this and ask yourself, what do I have to show for it? Make your decisions and choices based on that. 10 of Swords and the Tower. The 10 of Swords, remember swords govern the head. 10s represent cycle endings and completion. This is the end of a cycle. This is coming to the probably painful realization, surrendering to the realization that something is not, that you're not going to be able to make this thing better, that you're not going to be able to make it into what you want it to be, right? When the Tower shows up as advice, it's always about letting something fall, letting the tower fall, letting it break down. But then look at the beauty that's on the other side of it. The Sun, the most positive, powerful card in the tarot. Light, love, warmth, laughter, illumination. The pressure's being uplifted and relieved. And then we have 2 very powerful cards. The World and the Fool, which is interesting because this represents an entire cycle of the tarot. The first card is the Fool, the last card is the World. All the cards in between that are about a cycle of our life, like a chapter or a set of chapters that are significant in life. You know, we go through these different milestones and different phases of life. The cycle of the tarot represents, you know, each one of those. So the World is a final ending, a final conclusion. You've graduated. There's nothing else you're going to get from this. And it's time to start a brand new life cycle all over again, a whole brand new journey. But of course, you have to end something. You have to walk away from it. You have to surrender to the realization that it's over. You're not going to make this. You're not going to force this, no matter how positive and optimistic you are, no matter how many times you throw yourself at it. It's just not. You need to let it come crashing down. And if this is being codependent with someone else, you know, like saving them and rescuing them over and over and over again, if it's a family member or something like that, it's about letting them experience the consequences of that, even if it's painful for everyone involved, because that's the only way that change is going to occur here. And you can't force that. And it's about coming to the realization that we can't force something, especially when it involves, particularly when it involves other people. All right, I think I'll leave it there. Scorpio, I hope that the messages here have been useful to you, have been relevant to you, maybe given you some food for thought, clarified something, validated something for you. Again, if this did resonate and you'd like to perhaps reach out and take a deeper look at something, get a personal reading for yourself or as a gift for someone else, or you simply like the reading style. If you are interested in a personal reading with me, please email me at maggie1mcguire@gmail.com. You can also see that contact info by clicking the title or the description of this video. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the November general readings. Stay safe, stay well. Hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.